champions and the boxing superstars, where are you? I'm waiting, let's fight. I'm the most avoided boxer.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so happy Memorial Day out there to all the brave men and women that, make sacrifices to make the USA the great country that it is. Hope you guys having a wonderful Memorial Day. But I wanted to talk about the two featherweight fights that took place this past weekend in the UK because, as many of you guys know, I wasn't live for any of the fights this weekend. I didn't get a chance to make post-fight review videos immediately after it happened. So, I've taken the time. I've watched the fights, and yeah, I wanted to give you guys my thoughts. So, in this video, we're going to talk about Leigh Wood against Maurico Lara in the rematch, as well as Venado Lopez versus Conlan. Both very important fights in the featherweight division, and both definitely worth our attention, time, and effort here on True School Sports. So we'll start with Leigh Wood and Maurico Lara because the first fight I thought was an amazing fight. Leigh Wood in that fight was outboxing Lara, beating him easy, made a mistake as far as, trading with hooks for Lara, got caught with a big shot, and got knocked out and lost his world title. So, in this fight here, we heard the popular narrative that we always hear when a Mexican fighter takes on a British fighter in a world title fight, which is that the Mexican fighters are going to go to the UK, knock out the Brits, and the gravy show will just keep rolling, right? Now, in this fight, I was very impressed with Leigh Wood because I feel like, and a lot of credit should go out to Ben Davison and his team, because I noticed in this fight, Leigh Wood was very, very cognizant and attentive to not throw hooks, to not throw wide punches, and when he did, he made sure that he was, at a proper distance. I really liked how Leigh Wood kept his punches very straight. There was a lot of feints, there was a lot of probes, there was a lot of things that he was doing to not allow Bronco Lara, to get in position to counter, because that's ultimately what he was looking for. Lara was going to try to throw that big-ass left hook off of a counter and knock Leigh Wood out. And Leigh Wood, I thought, in this fight did a great job of not giving him what he wanted. So he effectively took the play away from Lara for most of the fight, and he boxed a great fight. And just like that, he's now regained his title. He outboxed Lara to an easy UD. And it's unfortunate because Maurico Lara, he came into this fight, he couldn't make weight. Very disgraceful, honestly, that he couldn't make the damn weight. Because, when you win a world title and you come from the mud and you upset the apple cart and you get the world title on foreign soil, you don't want to just give it away. And I feel like, obviously Leigh Wood performed well and he deserves credit because he's a fantastic fighter and he's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters coming out the UK. But I don't think Maurico Lara gave himself the optimum chance to win this fight. And that's unfortunate because when you fight guys like Leigh Wood, you got to be at your absolute best. And he wasn't at his absolute best and he paid dearly for it. But, shows us a lot about Leigh Wood, right? Because Leigh Wood, this is a guy that won a lot of fights as the underdog, against guys like Zhu Can and Mick Conlan. And now I think this fight right here, it has to be his finest hour. Because when you consider the narratives that are being pushed, not even just the narrative, it's not even a narrative, it's just the truth. Like, Mexicans always go to the UK and beat the brakes off the Brits. It's just happening at an alarming rate. It even happened, in the other fight we're going to talk about. But, he's really the first British fighter I can think of in a while that's fought a Mexican fighter in a world championship fight and actually found a way to win. So, I'm absolutely over the moon for Leigh Wood because I really did think after the first fight, even though he got knocked out, I felt like he was the better fighter. And, when you fight a guy again and adjustments are made, that's where you really see, like, who the better fighter is. And we've seen that here with Leigh Wood. So, he's champion again. And obviously the fight I want to see for him is and this is the perfect segue. The fight I want to see for Leigh Wood would be against the guy that won the other fight in the UK. And switching gears, Venado Lopez. He was taking on Mick Conlan, trying to defend his IBF belt. And an interesting fight because, Mick Conlan had won like 2 fights since being knocked into the 5th dimension against Leigh Wood. And this for him was really a chance to become champion and really establish himself in the featherweight division. And it was a good fight. Conlan had some success on the front foot, pushing Venado back. And, you know, Venado's got a very interesting style. I think I said the last time I talked about him, you know, he kind of, to me, when I watch him fight, he's short, he's stocky, he's very athletic. He fights like a more polished, sharper version of Rolly Romero. Like if Rolly was sharp and more polished, I feel like he'd be, his style will look very similar to how we see Venado Lopez fight, because he does a lot of unorthodox things, likes to lead a lot with the right hand, throw the inverted 1-2 combination, throwing the 2-1. And Conlan, you know, one thing about Conlan, when you watch his posture defensively, and even after he throws punches, what he likes to do, a lot of times Conlan will, you know, sometimes dip his head and dip it below the chest and towards the waist of the opponent. And he paid dearly for this, because basically what happened was he dipped his head, and Venado Lopez timed the uppercut. And anybody who knows boxing knows that, like, if you're in the ring, if a fighter is already leaning forward and his momentum is carrying forward, the opponent, the guy that's punching, if he don't even gotta throw a punch hard, if a guy's head is moving in a certain direction and you just place the punch, he's already doing the work for you. The force of the punch is already being done for you. All you gotta do is just locate the head, and that's what Venado did. He just touched that head with the uppercut as he was dipping down, and Mick Conlan was put on Queer Street and got knocked the hell out. So Venado Lopez defends his belt, and he's in a great run of form. You know, he had that loss to Ruben Villa early in his career, but you know, has bounced back in a major way, beating guys like Josh Warrington, Isaac Lowe, Christian Baez, and now most notably Mick Conlan. So Venado Lopez is a legitimate world champion, and I feel like a fight with him and Leigh Wood will be an absolutely amazing fight. I know Eddie Hearn is pushing Leigh Wood versus Josh Warrington. I don't really give a damn. I know he's gonna push the whole, it's a domestic dust up, but who gives a damn, right? We don't give a damn about none of that here on True School Sports. The reality is, Leigh Wood versus Venado Lopez is the fight to make at featherweight. You know, two great styles. I think Leigh Wood has developed as a fighter. You know, he's not just a guy that gets into wars as much anymore. He can box, he can slug, he can move. He's becoming a complete fighter, and I feel like maybe his best boxing still might be in front of him. Think about Venado with him be interesting, because it will be Leigh Wood, who's an incredibly technically sound fighter, taking out Venado Lopez, who just breaks all the rules. So to me, when we talk about the champions in the division, that is the fight to make. And then factor in, I didn't get a chance to watch this fight, but I know he fought on the undercard. You got Nick Ball, who's one of the most explosive fighters in the featherweight division from the UK and just in general. I would like to see him get a crack at Venado Lopez or Leigh Wood. I feel like he's definitely a fighter to look out for. And featherweight's getting very, very intriguing. I mean, I know, you know, my boy Angelo Leo was training with Shakur Stevenson recently, did some sparring with him, and I think he'll get active soon. He'd be a great addition to the division. So, you know, you look at the champions, guys like Venado, guys like Leigh Wood. You still got guys like Maurico Lara in the fold, Josh Warrington, Nick Ball, prospects like him. You got guys like Angelo Leo who are going to be in the division soon. Maybe Inoue is not going to be that far from moving up in the division. You got Fulton, who might move up to the division soon. You got Figueroa, who was champion. I believe he's a champion himself. So, you know, featherweight's starting to really heat up, and I think this week was one of the weeks where you could say, okay, now this is like the catalyst for what figures to be. I feel what figures to be just a great, you know, period for the featherweight division. So, you know, happy days for 126. But let me know what you guys think. What did you guys think about Venado Lopez? What did you guys think about Leigh Wood? I was very impressed with Leigh Wood's adjustments, his game plan, and very disappointed with the lack of adjustments from Maurico Lara. So we'll see what happens. Maurico Lara is still a great, awesome fighter. I want to see him again, but he's got to be more disciplined. So yeah, leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding dang it. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.